Red Bull responds to Hamilton's future, as Verstappen's future seems uncertain. Alonso claims he could beat Verstappen in equal machinery, and Jack Doohan is in danger of losing his seat. Do consider subbing to the channel. Let's get into the latest F1 news. The FIA, the governing body of motorsport, has announced some sweeping changes to its rules regarding driver conduct, and leading this discussion is none other than Sky's longtime F1 pundit, Martin Brundle. Martin Brundle has been the voice of F1 for decades, and he's recently expressed strong support for these guideline changes. The aim? To deter drivers from swearing and exhibiting other unacceptable behaviors. This week, the FIA confirmed modifications to its International Sporting Code, outlining how race stewards can respond to behaviors like cursing, making political statements, or acting in ways that could cause moral injury to the FIA or its personnel. With FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem at the helm, there's a clear intention to eliminate inappropriate behaviors from the sport. These changes target several articles within the International Sporting Code, a document that governs all the motorsport series endorsing the FIA, not just Formula One. The newly detailed Appendix B addresses misconduct, including issues around political statements and actions that might be deemed morally injurious to the FIA or its officials. Under this framework, punishments can start at a hefty fine of €40,000 for first-time offenders. For recent offenders like Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, using foul language during 2024 FIA press conferences could have triggered this penalty. But it doesn't stop there. A second offense could escalate penalties to €80,000 alongside a potential 1-month suspension. And if a driver were to rack up a third infraction, they could face a staggering €120,000 fine, a month-long suspension, and an unspecified deduction in championship points. This tough approach comes on the heels of discussions between the Grand Prix Drivers Association, which comprises all 20 drivers, and the FIA. Over the weekend of the 2024 Qatar Grand Prix, the drivers advocated for greater consistency and transparency concerning these behavioral expectations. However, while the drivers may have anticipated action from the FIA, the specifics of these punishments have sparked significant concern. The GPDA has not formally responded to these changes yet, leaving it up in the air how they might navigate this new landscape. One of the most vocal supporters of these rule changes, Martin Brundle, believes this new framework emphasizes the need for drivers to act as role models. Given that F1 is a high-profile international sport, the expectation for exemplary behavior is paramount. To strengthen his argument, Brundle noted that F1's governance is aligning itself with the standards set by organizations like the International Olympic Committee and the NFL. He drew a compelling comparison between F1 drivers and rugby players, emphasizing the importance of respecting authority, like referees, during a match. "I think we're role models. F1 drivers are role models," Brundle stated during an appearance on Sky Sports News. He acknowledged that emotions run high in the heat of competition, which can lead to outbursts, but he feels there's no place for gratuitous swearing, especially in press conferences. Brundle's aim isn't just to enforce rules, but to foster an environment of respect and professionalism that mirrors the discipline observed in other sports, like rugby. As F1 continues to evolve and adapt to modern standards, the question remains, how will drivers respond to these stringent new rules? Stay tuned, because we will be keeping a close eye on how this develops in the coming races. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more F1 updates. Max Verstappen has emerged as a prominent figure in the ongoing discussion about the FIA's new swearing guidelines. In 2024, he faced backlash after using expletives during a press conference in Singapore, which led to his community service penalty. Verstappen dismissed the concerns, choosing to communicate differently during that race weekend. Instead of engaging in traditional press interactions, he held informal sessions with journalists in the paddock. This decision didn't go unnoticed. Commentator Martin Brundle criticized Verstappen's behavior, emphasizing that drivers should serve as role models for aspiring competitors. Brundle pointed out how actions on the track, like disrespecting officials, set a poor example for the sport's future stars. He supported the FIA's initiative to instill discipline among the drivers, arguing that it's beneficial for those who look up to them as leaders in the sport. The FIA is preparing to introduce stricter guidelines starting in 2025. These new regulations aim to ensure that drivers are mindful of their behavior, particularly regarding language during public appearances. The intention behind these guidelines is clear: to uphold the integrity of the sport by encouraging professionalism and respect, not just for fellow competitors but for officials as well. The FIA's efforts reflect a growing trend in motorsport to maintain decorum and set high standards. With drivers like Verstappen bringing attention to these issues, it's essential to examine how these regulations will impact the sport and its personalities. As this new chapter unfolds, the racing community is left to ponder the balance between fierce competition and the expectations that come with being in the public eye. How will drivers adapt to these stringent rules? It remains to be seen if this will lead to a shift in behavior during races and beyond. Stay tuned for more developments as we observe how these changes will influence both the races and the drivers' interactions off the track. Lewis Hamilton is making headlines again, but this time as a new Ferrari driver. Recently, he made his debut at the team's Maranello factory and took his first test laps at the Fiorano test track. It was a significant moment for Hamilton, who completed 30 laps and received a warm welcome from Ferrari fans, known as the Tifosi. After his controversial defeat to Max Verstappen at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in 2021, the seven-time world champion is determined to chase a record-breaking 8th title in Formula One. However, Helmut Marko, a prominent advisor at Red Bull, has expressed skepticism about Hamilton's ability to be a serious contender against Verstappen. Despite the potential for the Red Bull RB21 to be a lackluster car by 2025, Marko believes Hamilton's chances of dethroning Verstappen are slim. He questions whether Hamilton can maintain his competitiveness over the course of an entire season, even if he has a superior car. The return of Hamilton to a more competitive setting at Ferrari ignites speculation about a renewed rivalry. Unfortunately, Marko seems to dismiss Hamilton's potential threat. He also casts doubt on Hamilton's teammate Charles Leclerc, suggesting he often makes too many mistakes during races. According to Marko, none of the current drivers pose a significant challenge to Verstappen. Marko further elaborated in an interview with the German publication Sport Bild. He noted that while McLaren and Ferrari had strong foundations for their cars last season, he doesn't see any standout drivers in either team. This leads to the conclusion that, regardless of the car's performance, Verstappen remains the most formidable contender on the grid. Marko claims that Verstappen is not only a brilliant driver, but also the most complete in modern Formula One. He believes that Verstappen can extract more performance from his car compared to others. This is evidenced by Verstappen's ability to secure a 4th consecutive World Championship title in 2024, despite facing his longest winless streak in 4 years, going 10 races without a victory. As Hamilton embarks on this new chapter with Ferrari, the pressure is on him to prove that he can not only compete, but excel in a new environment. While he hopes to shake off the shadows of the past, Marko's comments underscore a prevailing sentiment that reconquering the championship in the face of Verstappen's dominance may be harder than it seems. In summary, while Lewis Hamilton has made a bold move to Ferrari with aspirations for glory, the road ahead is filled with challenges, not least of all the ever-present threat of Max Verstappen. It remains to be seen whether Hamilton can reclaim his status as a championship contender or if Marko's doubts will turn out to be justified. Max Verstappen continues to make headlines in the world of Formula One. Recently, he became only the 2nd driver in history to win his first 4 titles in consecutive years, following in the footsteps of legendary Red Bull icon Sebastian Vettel. At just 27, Verstappen is firmly fixated on claiming his 5th title by 2025. Helmut Marko, an influential figure at Red Bull, recently praised Verstappen, calling him not only the fastest but the best in Formula One. Marko emphasized that Verstappen extracts an impressive 0.1 to 0.2 seconds more per lap than any of his competitors, showcasing his exceptional driving skills. For Max, it's crucial that we build a car that doesn't just perform well temporarily, but enables him to consistently compete for victories, Marco noted. He expressed his confidence that the team can develop the right car necessary to support Verstappen's quest for a fifth championship title. As rumors swirl about Verstappen's future, including potential moves to teams like Mercedes or Aston Martin, Marco reassured fans, stating the Dutch driver is contracted with Red Bull until the end of the 2028 season. He believes Verstappen will remain with the team, especially after another anticipated title win in 2025. Marco's comments highlight an intriguing aspect of Verstappen's contract that includes a performance element which may allow him to leave if Red Bull fails to provide a competitive car. Speculations have arisen that if he is not within the top 3 drivers by a significant point in the 2025 season, he could activate an exit clause. However, Marco remains optimistic, trusting that their engineering team has made substantial progress. He firmly believes this continued development will keep Verstappen at Red Bull night, and he expressed confidence in Verstappen's loyalty to the team, especially because I know how loyal and grateful he is to Red Bull, Marco said, predicting that Verstappen will proudly wear the Red Bull colors as a 5-time world champion in 2026. In summary, the future looks bright for Verstappen and Red Bull, as both aim to maintain their positions at the forefront of Formula One in the coming years. Stay tuned for exciting updates, and don't forget to subscribe for more news on this thrilling sport. Fernando Alonso, the seasoned Spanish driver, has been a formidable presence in Formula One for over 2 decades. Despite a competitive start with Renault, where he secured 2 world championships in 2005 and 2006, Alonso has faced challenges in recent years. Now at 43, he's on a long-term contract with Aston Martin, aiming to capture that elusive 3rd title. Paul Monahan, Red Bull's chief engineer, is a key figure in this conversation. With a history at both Red Bull and Benetton Renault, Monaghan knows the ins and outs of the sport. Having worked as Alonso's race engineer during the 2003 season, he firmly believes that Alonso still possesses the relentless spirit needed to win. You see, Alonso's career has seen many ups and downs. He has raced for some of the biggest teams, often during less than championship-winning times. However, after a decade without a Grand Prix victory, the 2023 season marked a turning point. Thanks to the impressive AMR 23, Alonso secured multiple podiums, showcasing his undeniable talent behind the wheel. Under Lawrence Stroll's ownership, Aston Martin has made impressive strides. With significant engineering investments and a complete overhaul of their facilities at Silverstone, the team seems poised for success. Monahan hints that with their new wind tunnel and the right partnerships, Aston Martin could soon provide Alonso with a championship contending car. Imagine the scenario: if Aston Martin delivers a machine capable of clinching the world title, Alonso could find himself in a fierce battle against the likes of Verstappen, Norris, and Hamilton. Monaghan confidently states that Alonso is up for the challenge, asserting he is relentless enough. If you give him the chance of a win, he's not going to screw up. Monaghan recalls Alonso's calm demeanor when leading in Hungary back in 2003. He believes that, even now with the right equipment, Alonso won't be rattled under pressure. As he puts it, if you give him the chance of a win, he'll get it. Don't worry. It's clear that Monaghan respects Alonso's skill and composure, even after all these years. As Alonso strives to break the record for the longest gap between titles, 19 years since his last triumph, a potential showdown with Verstappen looms large. Monaghan suggests that this rivalry would be nothing short of explosive, with both drivers likely to make their presence felt on their team radios. We are going to have to make a lot of cars because they are not going to be half a millimeter apart, he explains, capturing the intensity of such a championship battle. Picture this: fast-paced, fair racing, with non-stop action and respect on the track. Monaghan believes that if Alonso can indeed compete with Verstappen at this stage of his career, it would not only be historic, but incredibly exciting to witness. So what do you think? Could we witness a dramatic title showdown between Alonso and Verstappen in the coming seasons? Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, And join us for more exciting discussions about the world of Formula One and its rich tapestry of rivalries. In the competitive landscape of Formula One, few drivers evoke as much passion and admiration as Fernando Alonso. Recently, Paul Monaghan, the head of race engineering at Red Bull, reflected on his experiences facing Alonso through the years. After joining Red Bull in 2005, Monaghan played a pivotal role in thwarting Alonso's championship ambitions in both 2010 and 2012. With a sense of guilt, he admitted how these near misses impacted the Spaniard's career. Monaghan recalled how, despite being proud of his team's victories, he felt sorrow for Alonso, who put up an incredible fight. The emotional atmosphere following the near victory in Abu Dhabi was palpable. Monaghan approached Alonso that night, offering words of acknowledgement and encouragement, while secretly carrying the weight of their competitive encounters. Alonso is renowned for his relentless pursuit of excellence. Even Monaghan recognized how the driver seldom has a bad day. There's an unshakable confidence within him that's both inspiring and intimidating. Monaghan described Alonso as a phenomenal competitor, acknowledging the necessity of bringing their absolute best to compete against him. For Monaghan, it's a privilege to battle someone of Alonso's caliber, despite the pangs of guilt that sometimes come with it. In a recent interview, Alonso expressed his views on his career, candidly admitting that he feels he has never had access to the fastest cars in F1, even during his title-winning years. This sentiment speaks volumes about the resilience and tenacity that define his career, always striving for more, regardless of the obstacles presented. As the F1 world shifts, Alonso continues to make headlines off the track as well. He recently welcomed Will Power into his A14 management team, a move that signals ambition beyond racing. Power is looking to secure his future with Penske in IndyCar, opening a new chapter in Alonso's management endeavors and proving that his aspirations lay beyond just driving. However, Alonso's journey hasn't been without its controversies. Following a recent altercation at the US Grand Prix, where he deemed Liam Lawson an idiot over team radio, tensions on the track spilled into the airwaves, underlining the fierce competitive spirit that runs deep in F1. As Alonso nears the twilight of his illustrious career, retired driver Nico Rosberg has cautioned him about the impending decision of retirement. Will we see the seasoned veteran race against new talents in the years to come, or is a farewell on the horizon? Stay tuned as we continue to explore the intricacies of Alonso's career and the evolution of F1 racing. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more updates on your favorite drivers and teams. Jack Doohan is standing at a critical juncture in his Formula One career as he prepares for the upcoming 2025 season with Alpine. The pressure is mounting on the Australian driver, who is navigating the challenges of his debut season after having been signed to race alongside Pierre Gasly. Johnny Herbert, a veteran FIA steward, believes that Doohan is operating on borrowed time in the competitive world of F1. This isn't just any season for him. It's a vital year that could define his future in the sport. During the 2024 season finale in Abu Dhabi, Jack made his first appearance on the F1 stage, stepping in to replace Esteban Ocon. In that race, he managed to secure a 15th place finish, which, while respectable, has set the bar for expectations as he looks to solidify his place in the team. However, the spotlight on Doohan's performance is intense. With the announcement of Franco Colapinto, a promising driver who recently showcased his talent with impressive speed despite some crash incidents, speculation is brewing over his potential as a competitor against Doohan. Colapinto's recent signing as a reserve driver at Alpine adds another layer of challenge. As the season approaches, many are questioning whether Jack can hold his ground in the team. The significant investment Alpine made in securing Colapinto for the long-term raises concerns. Doohan's position is precarious, especially with the return of Flavio Briatore, the former team boss, who will be overseeing Alpine on behalf of CEO Luca Di Maio. Herbert has expressed that the pressure on Doohan is immense. He acknowledges the looming reality. If Doohan does not measure up to the performance expected of him, particularly compared to his teammate Gasly, he could be out of the picture sooner than he realizes. This stark reality conveys how critical this season is for him. As the countdown to the new season begins, questions remain about whether Doohan can rise to the challenge. Will he be able to handle the weight of expectations and deliver impressive performances? Or will the pressure prove to be too much for the young driver? Everybody is watching closely, awaiting to see if Jack Doohan can secure his future at Alpine and stake his claim as a formidable competitor in Formula One. The story of his season will undoubtedly be one filled with tension, determination, and the relentless pursuit of success. With the spotlight shining brightly on him, the journey ahead will be one to follow closely. The anticipation around Jack Doohan's future in Formula One is palpable. Reports suggest that his contract with Alpine may only secure him a seat for the first 6 races of the season. However, this situation is shrouded in uncertainty. Doohan's chance of sticking around hinges on his performance against his much more experienced teammate Pierre Gasly. With Gasly locked into a long-term contract and enjoying strong support from the team, Doohan faces an uphill battle. Adding to the pressure is the fact that his own manager, Flavio Briatore, is also Gasly's manager, creating a complex dynamic within the team. As former driver Johnny Herbert pointed out, this isn't just about driving. It's a high-stakes game where performance is key. Doohan has a massive amount of pressure on his shoulders, Herbert said. You have to get in the car and you have to perform. And performing is no easy task when you have a teammate as comfortable and supported as Gasly, especially being a Frenchman in a French team. Off the track, there's another layer of pressure for Doohan. Franco Colapinto, a potential rival for his seat, is lurking. Colapinto has made it clear that he's ready to step up, creating an additional sense of urgency for Doohan to deliver outstanding results early on. As Briatore keeps a watchful eye on both drivers, the atmosphere in the garage is charged with tension. Recently, both Doohan and Colapinto have been spotted at Alpine's headquarters, engaging in crucial simulator sessions and getting acclimated to their new environment. Doohan celebrated his 22nd birthday at the facility, marking a significant moment in what could be a pivotal year for him. As the season approaches, the stakes couldn't be higher for Jack Doohan. The complexities of performance pressure, team dynamics, and competition are all set to play a critical role in shaping his Formula One narrative. Will he rise to the occasion and secure his place in the sport, or will he find himself on the sidelines as he faces fierce competition? One thing is clear, the road ahead is anything but easy, and every race will count. Stay tuned. Watch this video next to see why Hamilton's Ferrari future will be successful.